Welcome to another exciting episode of Gun Talk. Today we're going to be talking about the disassembly and reassembly of an AK47. Now there are quite a few components to the AK47, so we're not gonna completely strip this thing down. We're not going to take apart these major components. This is just for the average person who owns one, who don't know how to take them apart and would like to learn. So, a little bit of history lesson about the AK-47. These things have been in the presence of war for a very long time. I believe since 1949, when they actually saw combat or any type of Soviet policing or anything like that. So let's talk about the name. The name AK-47 obviously comes from the developer. I believe, and anybody Russian who speaks fluent Russian, please don't attack me in the comments. But I think his name is Antomv or something like that. Kalashnikov. Sorry if I offended anybody by butchering the name there. But the year 47 is when they perfected the design. They started working on these in 1945. So throughout the course of a few years, they hadn't perfected it until 1947, and then they moved into combat in the year 1949 and whatnot. So before we get started with that, safety. I cannot stress this enough in my videos. So I don't have my spotlight, so we're gonna put this thing back. Obviously, there's no magazine in there. And I'm going to take my rod here. Now I can see this protruding through the other end of there. So now I know that there's nothing lodged inside of the barrel. So, without further ado, we're going to take this thing apart. So before we do that, we're going to make sure we have gloves, because like I said in my earlier videos, I don't agree with exposing myself to lead unnecessarily for the sake of taking apart these firearms and things like that. Some of you all may not have a problem with it, but in the event you think that lead exposure is a laughing matter, please read some literature, educate yourself, and just look at the Flint water crisis and things like that, like with them being exposed to lead. It is no laughing matter. So it's all fun and games, you know, working with your firearms and things like that, but please be conscious of lead exposure because it is extremely important. So make sure that you have gloves and other protective equipment. If you don't have latex gloves, sometimes cloth gloves work. Anything that'll protect yourself against unnecessarily being exposed to lead. So let's get taking this thing apart. Enough of my babbling and rambling and whatnot. Alright, so now that we have our firearm ready to be taken apart, like I say, because it left my sight for a little bit, I now have my light. Sorry if this blinds you guys. I need to make sure that it is empty. There is no magazine in the magazine well. But like I say, safety. So now let's get to it. So first, you're going to take a screwdriver. And you're going to take off your, you're going to take off your pistol grip. Now these screws are long, but it's only about a quarter threaded up top, so you don't have to worry about any major extended periods of screwing and whatnot. And just like that, this is off. And then our stabilizer adapter, that's off. So now we just have this here. So now the rear, push in this back button there. Lift up on your shield, that comes right off. Now for anybody that had wanted to clean this, these these few steps, these are pretty important because this is how you're going to expose your interior workings to make sure your rifle or pistol is clean. Then we take out the spring. That's nice and oiled. This one has been cleaned recently, so but yeah, let's just stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're gonna have more videos coming. And I may take it out to the range. It may get dirty, and as any good gun enthusiast would know, it's recommended that you clean your firearms after every use. So I may use this and clean it, and I'll show you guys. So right now we're left with our trigger group. We are left with our gas tube and our barrel and things like that. So these major pieces here are really easy to come off. And in the event you had wanted to clean it, you would make sure everything is functioning properly. Here, I'm not going to take this apart because this is just going to be a basic video. Like I say, stay tuned for when I clean it. And you can see it's been recently cleaned and oiled and things like that. And it's all over my fingers, which is all right. I don't mind it. So now we're going to take off our heat shield. I'm sorry, our heat shield and our what you call them, our gas lines. So you're gonna take your pliers. You could use a regular screwdriver or anything that's gonna grip this lip here, because I don't know if you guys can see, there's a dimple here, and then there's one under here which is being held on to. So you're gonna want to make sure you get a good decent grip. Let me see, how can I grip this and show you guys at the same time here. I'm kind of blocking you, excuse me for that. So now that this is loose, like I say, the objective of doing this here is so you can be able to take out this this top gas line. And if you guys notice, I'm going to try to bring this close to the camera there. You see that piece that's moving there? That's what holds the top gas chamber down. So in the event it's lined up straight when you guys loosen it, and then you may just have to pop a little bit of pressure up under it, it comes right off. It comes right off. And this is just the gas chamber, so that when you're a little bit of lesson on how these things work. Obviously you would have a magazine here. The magazine is it houses 7.62 by 39 rounds. One of the rounds are put into this chamber, and once it goes off, hot gases cause this here, with the assistance of the spring, to go back. And all this is happening inside, of course. It doesn't go back way out here. It causes this to go back. Bang. It goes off. And then throughout the course of that that bullet traveling outward, hot gases and energy go through the barrel, and about right here, like I said, this is the pistol version, so some of you guys with full-size rifles, you guys will be a lot longer. But right up in here, and there's a small channel in this barrel that causes the gas to go through this gas line, which is here. The hot gases go here and pushes this back, putting another round in the chamber and making it ready to fire again. And then you have these portations here. You guys can see them on the camera, top and bottom, and there's a total of 4 of them. That way you're not getting over-gassed, and it won't, your firearm won't mess around and explode on you or some weird, anomaly like that. But you know, these guns, like I said, they're really good guns, and if you take care of them and clean them properly, these will probably last you well over 20 years. You know, and like I say, we're not gonna take these apart because you would need roll pins. You would need a gunsmithing hammer and whatnot, so you don't bang up your equipment and whatnot. And then there are a lot of rivets throughout the AK-47. I mean, when they made these, they tried to make them cheap. And I don't mean cheap in the bad way, so please don't get offended. I mean cheap in a way that they were going to go out to war. They needed to make a lot of them immediately almost. So that's why they use, back in the day, they would use rivets. Rivets are still used nowadays, of course, but they were used a lot back when these started to, you know, get manufactured and whatnot. But if you wanted to clean these, it's always a good idea to make sure there's nothing lodged in your gas line or in your gas channels and whatnot. It's good to clean those out. Sometimes there may be maybe a little bit of dirt and debris in here and whatnot. You'd want to take that out. So now let's move over to this next step here. In the event you wanted to change out your furniture, I actually did on this one. This one came with plastic. The only thing that I managed to keep on here was this pistol grip. Now I do have the wood one and it looks really nice on this one, but because I put a stabilizer on here at the time, the thicker wood wouldn't allow the stabilizer to line up. Like I say, this is the stabilizer adapter. So with this particular pistol grip, it lined up perfect. So that's why I took the wood pistol grip off. But in the event you wanted to change these, it's quite simple. This one may be the only one that'll give you a little bit of problems because you gotta roll it into these channels here along the side there. But in the event you wanted to take out this bottom piece of wood, I'm not gonna do it on this one, but it is really, really easy. There's this lip here. Now this lip comes right up. I'm gonna try to move it for you guys a little bit here. And you guys can see it raising upward. It comes right up. Like I said, I'm not gonna do it in this video. There's another video for that. But it comes right up, and what will happen is this here will get loose, allowing you to, with ease, pop the bottom cover away. So now let's reassemble it. Starting from here. Like I said, you can take this whole thing apart, but I honestly would not do that if I did not have a rivet gun or riveting a manual riveter. So what I recommend doing, line this here, line it up straight, and then you're gonna make sure this is lined up straight. And at the same time, like I said earlier, this moving piece right there, that has to be lined up perfect so it can go in and out with ease. So I'm gonna line that up before I go there. Place that there, and it snaps right in. It's here. I'm gonna tighten that up off camera, but it just goes back down into that little dimple there. Like we had talked about, that goes down. I'm gonna do that off camera just for time's sake. And then you're gonna take your bolt and bolt carrier and whatnot. Place that like so. And now there are some patterns here. You'll see kind of open here, and there are more that go along the side of here, so you have to make sure you line them up properly. I'm gonna take that out and show you guys. So this is what I mean, like it goes wide here, kind of narrow, then wider up in here. The point that I'm trying to get at is to get it in this area here. So gloves here. Gotta make sure this thing is lined up almost perfect, which is a good thing, because if it doesn't line up or if it causes an issue, then you know that you're not having it in there properly. So like I say, if it's a struggle to get it in, it means that something isn't lined up. And then you put your spring and rod there, right in that back channel. Now, this part here is really important. You see there's some lips kind of on the side there. You want to line that up with this rear notch back here. And like I say, these things, they were created so simple to the point where they were literally field stripping these things in active war. So there's tracks for a reason. Like I say, if you're struggling with it, it means that something isn't lining up. So like I say, in my particular case, I gotta find these, and then I gotta make sure it's all on one side, and it's kind of hard to do to make and make sure you guys are able to see. But nonetheless, I got it done. So like I say, these things are meant to be operated in active combat. So now let's put our heat shield back on. And now, believe it or not, this is actually a pretty tricky part here, because if you don't put it on right, then it's not gonna go at all. And I mean, that's kind of what I've been saying about the whole piece here. But if you notice, you gotta line up that rear and the front. You gotta get it in the correct positioning in the front, and then when it comes down to the back, sure enough, it looks like it should go like that, straight over the back and whatnot. But in the event it is like that, then you got it wrong. Something isn't right. So you're gonna go with your second mind. Your first mind would tell you, oh yeah, I got it right. Your second mind would be the one you want to go with, and it's gonna look a little bit weird. You can kind of come in from this way here. So what I usually do, I would line it up in the front, then push it before it's locked in place. Kind of hard to do and let you guys see there. All right. Now it's time to put this thing back into place. Now this is what I meant. This is a really long screw, but it's only probably not even a quarter way threaded, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Line it up like so. And in fact, in my case, I'm going to put my stabilizer adapter back on there. Get that lined up properly. It should catch relatively quick, so in the event it isn't catching, then you know it's, like I said, these things are simple. If it's not catching, then you know you got something on there wrong. So like I say, you gotta guide them in there. Yeah, and you'd be able to hear it. So, like if it weren't locked in there, or if it wasn't being screwed in properly, you would hear it kind of popping along the walls of the pistol grip. So now we have that, and it's back active, and that's it. Simple. And all we used is a rinky-dink screwdriver, a pair of needle nose, or if you have a better set of equipment, sure enough, you have it, use it. But with this one, this is just basic. So like I say, in the event you guys have wanted to take these apart and wanted to take it apart completely, I will make a separate video on that. And just stay tuned. Stay tuned. And as I say in all my videos, like, comment, subscribe, and be safe. You know, safety is a big thing. I mean, especially during these unprecedented times. I mean, I wish you all well. And once again, be safe. Till next time.